What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. It is the 18th day of August, and here we are at about $0.0029, roughly 8 hours left in the day, 9 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Let's get into it, okay? I want to start this video off a little bit differently. Okay, I'm going to talk about the long-term stuff, and then we're going to shift into the short-term stuff, but it's going to be all kind of tied in together, right? We've been moving down now for quite a while, and where we are is, I think, a very obvious point to buy. It's a very obvious level. I mean, just on a macro scale, you can't tell me that this is not an obvious area to buy. Now, can we go lower and it's still an obvious area to buy? Sure. But if you're counting on lower prices, just understand they might not happen. They really might not happen. And I know this thing's been going down for quite a while, but that's another point to make. It's been going down for quite a while. How long did it go down on its first cycle? How long before it found its lows? This isn't actually the right chart to take. Let's go in the all-time history. Okay, because there we go. There's the actual high. High there to the low, to the actual low. That took 72 bars, 504 days. I don't think we're quite that long yet, but oh wow, we're past that. Okay. So we've been moving down longer than we did this time and lesser. It's intense. It's not fun. From a high to a low, you've dropped a grand total of 94%. But you guys, have you been listening to anything that I've been saying about any other cryptos out there that we do analysis on? Typically, cryptos in their first bear market, this is OnyxCoin's second bear market, they see a 90 to 95% drop, typically around 94%. And we're at that 94% level now. We've been dropping actually longer than we did in our first bear market. We are, instead of in the pits of oblivion where we don't know if there's going to be a lower low or a high because we have no price action to guide us, we have that guidance. We have that guidance. We have prior highs here to find support. Beyond that, we've also got a macro outlook that's rather positive. We've got higher lows. We've got higher highs. This is a higher low, and if it holds a support, what do higher lows imply? They imply higher highs. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. We don't talk about the higher highs too often because we're in this downtrend so much that we're working on the next steps, getting above here, getting above this high, breaking out, finding resistance here, consolidating, whatever. Then we talk about getting a higher high. That's like 3 or 4 steps away. We got to find our low first, which I think we very well could have found already. This, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you're waiting to buy more OnyxCoin, maybe you shouldn't, because man, this is a golden opportunity right here. And they're developing, they're building, man. They are building in the background. They are putting their heads down. You're seeing new developments come out all the time, month after month, week after week. They're doing something. They're getting people excited for stuff. If you're a part of the community, it might not be that exciting, or maybe, and a lot of the time, it's something that once it happens, it's kind of like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. But that's okay. They're not whining either. They're not building and asking for recognition. They're just building and building and building and building and building. And that's, we're getting more value from a fundamental standpoint than we ever had, even at these highs. So there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to see new highs. I want to measure what those highs might be, because again, I'm making this video today with the genuine assumption that the low could be in already, especially after what we just went over. I thought we're near the low, and if the low's not in, we're very near it now. Well, let's see which one. That's the low last week. If this is the low, or we're low adjacent, the minimum target from here for a new relative high is a 36x. That's a better projection than what the average altcoin has by like a factor of 2, or at least a factor of 50%, like the like 0.5, I guess, right? Like a multiple of 2, multiple of 50%, whatever that would be. Would factor work? Is that a proper word for it? Anyways, that's the minimum target. We get to new all-time highs. We hit this golden ratio. That's 100x, you guys. It's a 99x, but 100x. And if we get higher, which I think we will get higher, can we get much higher? So high. We're going to get super high and go to this 62.85 cent, $1.85 area. And now we're talking about multi-100x material. And we did the math last cycle. It checks out that we could see a $2 price. It's possible. Market cap wise, it's a high market cap, but it's not over $100 billion. It's possible. It can happen. It's like an $80 billion, $60 billion range. Maybe we only get to a $10 billion range. Maybe we don't even see new all-time highs next cycle. It is possible that we stop. But even here, these minimum targets, that's a 30-something to a 58x. Crazy potential, man. Crazy, crazy potential. And it definitely, I think, starts here, man. Look at this, right? You're finding support right here. I'm kind of curious because we've been drawing this trend line here. Where might we connect it? I don't think that we've interacted with it yet. I'm starting to wonder if we actually do interact with this trend line at all. Are we going to go down there? Because a lot of people are using this as a point of reference, but in my experience, these lines, who cares? It's these lines that matter most. It's these ones. That's at a weekly closing high. That's at a wicking closing high. And everything and anything and everything in between, these are all points of support as well. You've got dramatic support at every single one of these lines. Look at this, just the wick itself, you found support for months. Now we're down here in this range, literally in the depths of this range where there's very consistent support or very consistent resistance, which now likely will turn into support. We're moving down. Now we're going to phase into the short-term stuff a little bit. We're moving down, and there's no volume. If this was reversed, if we were looking at this chart like this, right? And let's change the colors. Let's change the colors so we can really mess with our brains here. Red, green. They're going to be a different shade because I don't know the actual shade, whatever. I don't care. Red and green, that's the main point. It kind of looks more, I get retro, I guess. I don't know. Greener and redder. You're looking at this here. You've been in an uptrend. You've been moving up. You've been doing really well. But these moves are far, far more robust, aren't they? This just looks like you've been bleeding, and guess what? Bleeding to the upside. And you're finding resistance now at prior support. There's no volume here at all. No volume at all throughout this whole move up. It's been very, very tenacious. You look at Bitcoin, you guys. When we were in a bull market, look at the movements we had. Look at these movements that we had here. Phenomenal, voluptuous, right? Authentic bullish movements here. Very, very fast, very strong movements. You look at the bear market, and then what happens? This isn't this move here. This is not a bull market move. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like any of these bull market moves. Hell no, it doesn't. It's weak. You're slowly bleeding up. And what happened? You found resistance right at prior support. And then you move down. Slowly bleeding up. It's not your bull market move. It's definitely not the same as this bull market move, right? Right here. You're slowly bleeding up. And now you're at the point of resistance. What's going to happen? You're going to go down. But in this case, that going down is going up. We're inverted, right? Totally inverted. Let's just get all the colors. There we go. It makes sense to me, man. It makes sense to me. What I love most about OnyxCoin is the consistent efforts that are being put into this thing from the team. They don't whine about it. They're just putting their heads down and getting to work. That's in the bear market. That's what you want. That's what you want. That's what you need. From an all-time low to the cycle high last cycle, we're right in the heart of the golden ratio zone. We're right in the heart of this area of prior resistance. And what I think this fib would be significant too. Let's see. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Significance, if it is significant, and we've shown significance on this fib, would suggest then that 0024 to 002 would be the next target area. And perhaps we go there. Again, we can go lower and we're still in this range where it makes sense to find support. What we can do is we can wick down there and then still close up here. We're still holding support here, just like, you know, you found resistance here. No one's going to argue that you found resistance here, but you still wicked above this level, right? You can go lower. As long as we're closing in this area, it's possible, but I don't care if it's there. I don't care if it's here. We're either at the low or very near the low. It's a great time to buy OnyxCoin. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It's a great time to buy OnyxCoin. It absolutely is. I want to see, let's actually look at this because we don't normally use this chart. I want to look at this one. Where are we in the sense of this fib, the Mac Daddy? Almost at the 236, man, like right there. I don't know. It looks good. It looks good to me. And it's been boring. It's the boring times that scare people away. But man, if you've been DCAing or if you've been waiting to stack, this is a great time to do it. And if you've been staking, good on you, man. You're making some extra capital, especially while this thing's at the low points. You're able to add, you're able to stake, and then as time goes on, the staking rewards will probably go down because more people will buy, more people will stake. Staking rewards will go down. The people who've been staking will be rewarded the most. Free money, and as this thing goes up, man, we'll be rewarded. That's what happens. A lot of people say 30% APR, this thing will never go up because you're staking too much. 30% APR, it's not going to work. We had 40% APR back here, and we saw 20x in 2 months. I think we, at the top, still had like 30% APR, 28%, something like that. So I don't think that, it's not that it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters as much as people are saying because, again, this thing is a low market cap. It's not at a multi-billion-dollar market cap. You're at 128 million. That's not incredibly low like some of our favorite meme coins, but that's low in this game. It's very low in this game. You have multi-100x potential in this coin. If you're not aware or familiar with OnyxCoin, I invite you to do your own research. It's a DeFi protocol, DeFi project that we've been following for a while. It was a layer 2 project, and that is now, they have their own layer 1. They have their own blockchain, as far as I'm concerned. Isn't that what it would mean? They have their own blockchain. That's what Onyx protocol is. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. I want to be double sure here. I'm not just putting words in there. Is OnyxCoin XCN a layer 1 protocol? Because they still have their Ethereum layer connected as well. So there is a layer 2 with this as well. It's kind of interesting. But it's migrating. I would assume the Ethereum layer is going to go away. Maybe it'll always be there. I don't know. I don't know if that'd be a positive or a negative thing. I think it'd be positive to keep it. Might be unnecessary. I don't know. Maybe it's a negative, I guess. I don't know. Yes, OnyxCoin, layer 1 blockchain protocol, which means they have their own blockchain. Onyx mainnet, also referred to as Goliath, but it's not Goliath anymore. Cool. Layer 1 blockchain. So we do. It also exists as an ERC20 token on the Ethereum mainnet, yeah, with bridging support between the two. So that's cool. So I don't know. Again, I don't know. Is that better? Is it better that we have access to multiple different chains? It might be. It might be. Bridging between the two is not expensive either. And Ethereum is the biggest chain other than Bitcoin out there. It's bigger than Solana. I mean, that's debatable, but it's bigger than Solana. I very much believe it is. And if we can do that with Ethereum, could we do that with Solana as well? Maybe. I don't know. And would we want to? Is that even something that's, again, positive or negative? I don't know. That's something to think about. But yeah, this thing is just transformed, man. It's gone through, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you want to invest in this is your first time hearing about this, or you've thought about it, you've watched the channel, and you're like, I don't know. Look at the chart, man. The chart is golden. Do your research. There are unlocks that happen every single month for OnyxCoin. They happen every single month. I forget how many tokens get unlocked, but we could probably figure that out really easily. Circulating supply is 44 billion tokens. Max supply is 68 billion. There's burn mechanisms with Onyx. Not all of these tokens are going to be released. Okay, I just got a message, and I mean we're very diluted. Okay. Most of these coins, whenever you look at these coins, they're like a quarter of the way diluted or 10% of the way diluted. We're almost like 75% of the way diluted. And the remaining 25% of that, I think something like 10% or more is gone forever, right? Is burned forever. How many Onyx coins, I'm just going to say XCN tokens, XCN coins, tokens are locked / burned forever and completely inaccessible? I don't know. Is that the right? In excess would it be accessible? It would be ABLE. In excess, oh, 2 S's, that's what it is, inaccessible. And Grok might not know. There was something on Onyx's page like months ago. I don't want to go scrolling through it. That did show which tokens were burned forever, like their total amount burned. I want to say it was like 20 billion tokens. So in which case, we're actually, maybe it was like 15 billion, but we're actually really close to being fully diluted. 20, okay, approximately, I thought it was 20 billion. 20 billion have been permanently burned, completely inaccessible forever. Okay, so let's say 20 billion. We'll just round down. 20 billion tokens. There's 68.9 billion max supplied, 44 billion now. Make that 64 billion. You guys, there's only 4 billion more tokens to unlock. You're actually fully diluted right now. Fully diluted. The staking, people are saying that the staking is going to hurt. What hurts price action typically is not staking rewards, unless those are being pulled from the ether, like with Ethereum. What hurts price action is dilution, right? Because with dilution, that money is going to people who are staking, people who founded the protocol who might not be staking at all, people who initially invested in the protocol, helped get it started, but they're not a part of it anymore. The whole purpose that they get rewarded is to just sell. The new coins that are coming into circulation, to my knowledge, are not going to, maybe some of it's going to the staking pool, but a lot of it's probably going to the organization itself, which is good. That means that money's being used to make this a better project. And then the staking pool is its own thing. It's completely separate, right? And people have asked this question. They're like, well, it's just going to stake. It's going to go to zero. It's like there's a fixed amount. Okay, Treasury. There's 703 million that are staked. There's 216,000 that are emitted daily. Oh wait, hold on. This is from the Ethereum layer, isn't it? Okay, Onyx. I don't know what the percentage would be that the daily emissions are. I wish it would tell us here. Damn, see that's the issue. They switched it over from Ethereum to Onyx, and that's great. That's awesome. There's a lot of benefits there, but there's some stuff that we're missing, and that's okay. I can't do the math that I wanted to do. That's fine. 12.4 million total value locked staking out of 120, so about 10%. 10% is locked in staking, guys. That's awesome. That's awesome. And the staking pool will dry out eventually. It will run out. And what's going to happen as there's less and less coins to be given as a staking yield, this APR is going to go down. So even if we had the amount that gets released daily, and we compared that to the APR and how long it would take for that to run dry, that's dynamic. That shifts. There's enough Onyx coins in this where we can provide an APR that is above average, above what anybody else does in the space for years, guys, from now. And again, we're still, even with that, fully diluted. We're still fully diluted, which means if you think about it again, 12% of the supply is locked in staking, but then there's a pool separate that's set aside just for staking rewards itself. So more than 10% of the supply is locked, right? More than 10% of the supply is locked, and we're basically fully diluted. So just, I don't know, some technical fundamental things that are good as well, but getting back to the main point, phenomenal area to buy. I expect big things. I don't expect we're going to get a 20x in 2 weeks like we did last cycle. Maybe. OnyxCoin, when it does pump, you can see anytime it pumps, it does move very fast. And the reason for that is probably because a lot of tokens are locked up. There's not a lot of open liquidity for this. It's a low market cap coin. It doesn't take much money to move the price up. But as we get higher and higher, these movements will be less extreme. I still wouldn't be surprised after moving down so much like this, after being given up on and being at such a very solid area of support. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some kind of magnificent bounce here. We've seen us move very fast before at this exact same level to the upside and to the downside, but that doesn't mean that it has to be a 20x in 2 weeks. Maybe it's a 5x in 2 months. Oh no, 5x in 2 months. That's so bad, right? No, it's going to be really good. And as far as when does this happen, is it going to be by the end of this year? I don't know. We could stay here, guys. We stayed here after we found our low. We were in this area. We didn't really start to see exciting price action. It was exciting here, sure, but it was all part of the same process. We didn't really start to see exciting price action for over a year. So we could, maybe we move up. Maybe we get a nice move up like this, and we get the higher high. And then we come back down, and then we get the higher low. And then that's when the exciting stuff happens in late 2027, going into 2028. And that makes sense to me. It's a great opportunity now for the future. Okay, it's not an opportunity now for the now. It's an opportunity now for the future. And if you DCA and you're staking on top of that, I think we have a really special coin, a really special protocol here. They're doing things that I haven't seen other DeFi protocols do throughout this space, and it's cool because we have OnyxCoin, we have KTA, which I'm a little bit iffy on now, but I'm still gonna invest in it. I just again, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of misunderstanding here. I don't want to get into it. I'm not trying to spread FUD, but man, I got blocked from the CEO of this company, and the only thing I've ever said about KTA is positive things. The only negative I've ever talked about is the fact that I thought price would go below 10 cents, and it finally has. It's below 10 cents, so I was right, and I got blocked. And this was recent. This was definitely within the last like month or two that I got blocked. And it's like, if all I've done is talk positive about your project, and that got me blocked, what happens with the people who are on your team, who are trying to help you build, who are trying to give you information that you might not appreciate, you might not like, you might disagree with? Are you a big baby? Are you going to act like that to your team? Like, that's not good leadership, man. I don't know. Again, maybe I got blocked because he thought I was an imposter. C-Zar account. There's plenty of imposters out there. Maybe I said something. I don't think I said anything about him or about the project. I've never said anything negative about the project. This is like the most negative I've ever talked about KTA. We've been invested in it since before it was above 2 cents. You know, very big proponent in it in the early days. Like, just, I don't know. And I've always complimented Ty himself. So for him to block me, it was just weird. It was really weird. It's those little things, man. It's like that movie. I can't remember. It's got Kevin Costner in it. It's like is it Draft Day, and Bo, whatever the guy's name is, Bo something, Bo Callahan. That's it. I can't believe I remember all this. Everybody thought he was the next best quarterback. He was going to be the first pick, the prime pick, and he kept getting passed up on. And why did he get passed up on? It's because he didn't play well with his teammates. This guy did some research, and he found that when it was his birthday, none of his teammates showed up for his birthday. What kind of football team, especially with a quarterback, has a birthday and none of his teammates are there, right? A guy that's a dick, a guy that doesn't play well with others. He might be skilled, he might be talented, but it's a team event. It's a team effort. Same thing with KTA. I'm comparing Ty to Bo, potentially. There was nobody at his birthday party. I got blocked. That's kind of the comparison that I'm making. All I've done is talk positive, but this isn't a KTA video. This is an XCN video. We like OnyxCoin. We like Syrup, Maple Finance. We like KTA. And I'm even going to start really talking about Xano a lot more as well. Where are you, Xano? Zano. Where are you? There you are. Because these are all DeFi protocols that are unique. They all have different things going on for them. And Xano would technically be a privacy protocol, but it's the same thing. It's DeFi, but better. Anyways, they're all unique, all very unique. So these coins, Xano, KTA, Syrup, and XCN, all ones to watch, all at very obvious areas to accumulate. And if you like DeFi like I do, I would encourage you to do your research on all these projects. Do not overlook OnyxCoin. It's at a very low market cap, very opportunistic point in its existence for some glorious price action to the upside. I'm tempted to buy more here, and I just might actually. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.